Hi, this is Dr. Cooper, and this is a podcast for the ENG102 Freshman Composition course. Today's podcast is the Week 3 weekly podcast. So we will be moving on in Module 1 to Week 3. And as you can see, there are only 4 weeks in this module. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. So a couple of things I want to go over today with Week 3. We have 2 lessons that you'll need to access. One is created very similar to the ones previously in SoftChalk, and the other is actually a module created for Harvard students. So I'm sending you to Harvard to learn about paraphrasing. Don't worry, these don't take very long to do either one. So make sure that you access those, because as you'll see, when I grade assignments 1 and 2 this week, if you have not accessed these lessons, then you do not get an opportunity to do a rewrite for the assignment. So assignment number 1, you will be able to do a rewrite for, but assignment number 2, you will not. So I'm going to talk about assignment number 2 right now. Okay, but before we do that, let's go ahead and click on Week 3 to go over quickly what else you need to do for this week. Okay, so we're going to start a discussion this week. 1A small groups, topic choices on Piazza. So I know that a couple people have already tried to get started with their discussion, and I'm going to set those up right now so that you can participate. And actually what I'll do is I wrote in your comments in Piazza that discussion didn't count, but I will go ahead and do that, but I'm going to put it into a group. I don't want just random people participating in any group. I want you to have an assigned group. So that's going to happen here in just a second. You'll see it pop up as soon as you are, or even before you're listening to this podcast. Okay, so more on that later. All right, from the beginning, make sure that you plan for 4.5 to 5 hours. Again, that's on the middle to low end, so you might end up with an extra hour there, but that's for a whole week. So again, it's still below my projected 7 to 10 hours that you should be spending for this class. Most of you are doing a good job with that. So our instructional objectives for this week are to continue to develop our ability to read critically. So we're looking at some of these sources, these articles that we found for Diigo. We're reading through them. That's one of our objectives this week. We're also refining strategies for academic research. So now we're going to learn how to search the internet correctly and not just Google everything, which is what most students want to do. And we're also going to keep working on a working bibliography, because that's a very valuable skill for this. So every time you find a new source, you want to be able to add it to your collection, which is your working bibliography. Okay? And then we're also going to focus on paraphrasing this week. So we're going to have a lesson, and you're going to practice that. So in your handbook, chapter 21, you're going to read 21E, just that section 21E. Just remember that if you're using Chrome, you'll have to do some special things. So I know a lot of you are having trouble accessing some videos sometimes. Sometimes you can't access the book. You know, it's really nothing that I can do. It's different browsers act differently, and until they all decide to get on board and have the same protocols, we're going to have to switch between the 2 and sometimes even 3 browsers. So you'll need either Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, which comes on a Windows PC. Also, if you have a Mac, you can try the Safari browser. But that's what I would do if you're having any trouble accessing anything. Try a different browser first. Okay? Now, a lot of times you'll get up in this area here a shield if you're in Chrome. I'm in Chrome right now. So right here in this browser, right by where you see this plus sign, there'll be a little shield. If you're in Chrome and you can't see a video, click that shield and then click to allow the unsafe program to run. For some reason, it thinks that everything that's Flash is unsafe. Okay, so go ahead and click your lessons here and view those lessons. One should take you a little bit longer than the second one, 40 to 45 minutes. Remember, if you want to have an opportunity to do rewrites on your papers, you want to make sure that you're accessing these lessons. Now, what's going to happen when you click the link to access the lesson is it's going to ask for a user identification code. This is just either your name or you could use your MEID. Either one works. Okay, just type in that and then hit submit, and then you're going to have access to the lesson. Okay, so it'll keep track of your little score. You can see that there's only 3 points available for this in this particular Quizme's So go ahead and do those, and then when you're done, you can go to the next one. Okay? So after you created one, you shouldn't have to log in again. But if you do it, remember, just your name or your MEID. Okay, so this is the Harvard lesson. As you can see, it only takes about 5 minutes to go through. You'll have to click the play button to listen.
Welcome to Module 1.
Okay, and then it'll take you through these 5 pages for this lesson. Okay, don't go anywhere else in this. It's just this lesson. Okay, so then, like I said, I'm going to set up your discussion so that you can participate and do that just quickly right now. And then you will present your research prospectus by Wednesday. Okay, so what's going to happen on Wednesday is I'm going to start to grade those, and you may or may not get accepted right away. If you don't get accepted right away, it's not the end of the world. You'll need to just resubmit until you get it. So the way it works is if you get a 1, that means that you have submitted your assignment on time, 1 out of 10, but it wasn't accepted, so you'll need to turn it in again. The 1 is just a placeholder grade until you turn in a 10. If you get a 0, that means it's late and you have not submitted it correctly, or you haven't submitted it on time. So that's how I will know the difference. If you get a 1, you can still earn full credit. If you get a 0, you can't earn full credit. It's 10% off for each day it is late. Okay? So remember, you cannot do assignment number 3, which is due Sunday, until you submit your prospectus and get your topic approved. Your topic must be approved for assignment number 3. If you do the assignment on an unapproved topic, you may have to do it again. Now, some people got lucky, submitted assignment number 3, and then eventually got that topic approved. A lot of times they ended up having to change the topic and then redo the assignment. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at what you need to do with assignment number 2. Okay, so I'm over here in Diigo, and remember, there are no rewrites, so you will have until Wednesday this week to make any corrections that need to be made if you notice that you can't do what I want you to do, or see what I want to see, just by looking at this. So for one, if I don't recognize your name, like here's one that says anonymous that hasn't shared anything. I don't know who that is. Who's anonymous? So I can't give you any credit if I don't know who you are. Okay, so all of these people I pretty much can tell based on the name who they are. Okay, so this is the list of 30 students. There were about 15 of you who have not submitted this assignment. Okay, but everybody else I can see. Now, across from your name, I can see that you have shared 5 items, 4 items. So Sport Mom, I'm not quite sure who Sport Mom is, has only done 4 items. So when I click on this, if I can't tell who you are, obviously I can't give you credit. But you also have not completed the assignment. So if you're a Sport Mom, you'll need to go back in. So go in and look to see if you have at least 5 items. Now when I go and look in the group, okay, you want to do the same thing. Make sure that you're in the group. Here's the URL. And make sure that your topics are showing up here. So if you scroll down and you see your name, then your topics are there. You also want to make sure that you are commenting on what you are saving. Okay, so here you can see that Garrett and Destiny did a good job of having their URL. I don't like all caps, but that's okay. URL, their comments, and their tags. Okay, so good job there. And then you'll have to go back in and leave a comment. So Garrett, I can see, is leaving a comment on Brianna's. Or this might also indicate that Garrett also saved the same article. So it will be difficult for me to tell if you are commenting on something that someone else saved, or if this is your save as well. It could be just the same save. So what I will end up doing is counting your 5 saves and then going in to see if you are also commenting. Okay, so that means I will see 10 bubbles for you. So you'll want to do the same thing. Look to see that your comments are showing up underneath where you meant for them to show up. Okay, so here's another example. She's either commenting or that's her article that she saved as well. And we'll figure that out later. So if you go in and you can see on this page the same thing that I can see, okay, from this URL, then your assignment is done correctly and you will get the points. But if you can't see them, I can't see them as well, and no one can see them. So when you go in to do your discussion in week 3, and you're going to go over to Piazza, okay, you will see your group. What I want for you to do before you participate in the discussions that are going to be set up, I want for you to look at the shared items from the people in your group. Okay, so go over, look on the English 102 page, or you can do it individually from the people in the group. Okay, and you want, if you're in a group with Davina, you can go look directly at her 5 posts and maybe comment to her about whether you feel that these were good websites to save or good topics to write about. Okay? Okay, so that's pretty much it for week 3. Okay, so let's get in there, get a little discussion going. And remember, this is going to be a short discussion. It can last all week, but you want to make sure you get started today. So I'm going to put you into smaller groups. Just plan for about 30 minutes, an hour at the most. Make sure you look at the discussion or the Diigo links so you have an idea of what people are considering for topics. And then you're going to submit your research prospectus. So for this research prospectus, which is due Wednesday, I'm going to change this date right now. It's actually due Wednesday of this week, which is September 5th, I believe. Okay, so you'll want to add that in there. And this video should pop up and play again. Just make sure you click the link. This is an old video, but the gist of the video is what I want for you to write in your proposal. You can also submit a video or audio proposal as well, which I've noticed some of you have already done. So it's up to you how you want to submit that. Just make sure that you're writing enough for this research prospectus. Okay? Make sure you're answering all the questions and you're writing 4 to 5 sentences, 3 to 4 sentences, and so forth, and that you have a research question. All right? So that's pretty much it for this podcast. Good luck. If you have any questions, remember, ask them on Piazza.